Hey, what's up guys? Tony here, and this is Ace Combat Assault Horizon for the, well, it's going to be for the PS3 and the Xbox. If you guys don't know, you guys should know, because I've mentioned it before, but I'm a big Ace Combat fan. If there's any one franchise that I am a diehard, it is Ace Combat. I must have played Ace Combat 4, 5, and 6. I don't know how many times I played that game, but I played the shit out of those games. I love these games. And the last one that came out, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it was an Xbox only. So it was exclusive to the Xbox, which sucked because, you know, well, at the time I had a PS2, so I really didn't care. But I bought it for the Xbox, so I played it on my younger brother's Xbox before, you know, his Xbox blew up. Because it was one of the white ones, and while he was deployed, he got the red ring of death, which sucked because he thought we broke it. But yeah, he had the Xbox, and I bought it for it, and I bought a controller, and I bought all this stuff for this, and it was like I was like an Xbox 360 player, except for the fact that I didn't actually own one. And I played this game. Oh my gosh, I played the Ace Combat game so much. I love those games. The one thing I wish I could have used my PlayStation 2 flight controller with the Xbox system. Obviously it didn't work, which no surprise, but you know, I mean, Sony and Microsoft both make PCs. I thought, you know what, maybe the USB ports will be the same and nobody will notice. No, not true, of course not. They're proprietary, and they did notice, and they're just like, oh, that thing you've got plugged in my USB 2.0 port, I don't know what that is, and you might want to take it out. And that's not what she said. So you guys are probably like wanting to hear about the demo, or maybe you're here to watch the demo, I don't know. Or maybe you're just here to wonder, why is he flying in circles? But let's talk about the demo for a little bit, because that's why I recorded this in the first place, and that's why I'm doing this commentary, because I want to talk about the demo. This game plays a lot like the rest of the Ace Combat games, and I like that. And I mentioned that in my Battlefield 3 beta, that there's a certain amount of consistency. Actually, I didn't mention that in the game itself. I actually mentioned it in the comment section. But there's a certain level of consistency that needs to happen with any sort of series. So if you're going to have a series like Battlefield, and here's something new to the series right here. This is called the dogfight situation or something. Anyways, it's like dogfight mode. There you go, dogfight mode. The computer actually controls your aircraft. You get to fly it, and you can control the pitch and roll, but you can't actually control the aircraft. So you can actually, oh, you can also control the thrust as well. So you can speed up, you can slow down, you can roll all you want to, but the computer is going to follow that your target aircraft, and that's it. And you shoot missiles and guns at it, and it's very much like an arcade, and you can go to town, and I don't like that. But anyways, back to the controls. They are identical to any of the other Ace Combat games, and so that level of consistency with the series is there. It's established. I like it. I almost crashed into some retired people's homes right there, but I didn't. Almost, like I said. And so it's there, and I like it. The music is the same. Graphically, I mean, you see the air. You can see all that water vapor flying by the windscreen, the canopy, excuse me, and it's great. I love that consistency. And sometimes, all right, let me kind of go on something here real quick. A lot of people think when a new game comes out, it has to have like revolutionary new things to make it a great game. Well, I disagree with games like this, because these are more or less single-player games. You know, you can play online, you can shoot each other down, you can have dogfights, all that great stuff. Great, that's fantastic. I tried that on the last Ace Combat in my Xbox, and it was annoying as shit because people would shoot you down with standoff missiles from a long ways away because they've been playing the game forever. Was not a noob-friendly game at all. So anyways, with these games, with this game, what it's doing is it's changing the actual storyline. I mean, it's got all the same elements that make Ace Combat great. They're adding a few things like the dogfight mode, which I don't particularly like. And the sensitivity, like I mentioned, I don't know, I'm gonna have to go and adjust it when I finally buy the game. But the story is what's great. I don't need newfangled stuff. I just want a new story, a new reason why I'm flying. Why am I fighting in this another war? Wow, tongue-tied, another war. And what they did is they hired, I believe it was a screenwriter, well-known screenwriter. He wrote the script for this actual game, and it's based here on our planet. Before it was based on another world with different continents and countries, and although they very much resembled Americans and Russians for the most part, this one is actually based on in a future of what's been going on. So like, I don't know, 10, 20 years in the future, something like that. So it's based on this world. So that's kind of cool. That's something new. That's something interesting with the game. So we'll see how that game, that storyline plays out. And I like that. And that's what's great. You know, let's go with the storyline. Let's get new, intriguing stories. And I think I made a commentary a while back about getting back into single-player games, not only for sports games, but for games like Red Faction, games like Ace Combat, Red Dead Redemption, you know, those kind of games. Like getting back into these single-player games and having fun with why did we get into gaming in the first place. And I think for me, it's story-driven. I love good stories. And that's what's great about gaming. I like to participate in those stories. So what they also did, and you'll see here in a second, they brought in a very new element. They brought in choppers. And I always thought that would be kind of cool. Let's bring in choppers into these flight simulators. I don't know, you know, and they fly differently than like fixed-wing aircraft do, the rotary aircraft, helicopters. So the execution on the rotary aircraft it's interesting. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I have, oh my gosh, I have so much flight experience flying helicopters. Well, I don't, but I do have a little experience flying helicopters. And I mean, I'm not real life experience, but a good friend of mine is in the Navy. He's a lieutenant commander. So basically, he's like a major in the Army, in the Marine Corps, and the Air Force. So he's a middle to high ranking junior officer. 04. And one time when he was stationed down here in San Diego, one time he took me and a mutual friend of ours who's a former San Diego Charger down to his squadron, and we got a chance to go into the flight simulators and these Navy simulators. And so he allowed us to fly these simulators of the H-60 Seahawk, which is basically the Black Hawk, just for the Navy. And I don't think choppers can do that while they're hovering, roll over like that. But anyways, we got a chance to get in there, got a chance to fly the aircraft, and I got a chance to actually feel, for the most part, what it's like to fly a Navy chopper. And it's harder than it looks. And you can do certain things that in this game, it's very rigid, and it has to fit in and conform to the controls of the PlayStation controller or the Xbox controller. Maybe with a flight stick, it'll be a lot smoother. I have noticed that every time I played an Ace Combat game, it is way smoother. Way smoother. I don't know where the hell those missiles were going, but it's way smoother with a flight controller. There's something that the controller doesn't translate well. You can't bring it, you can't incorporate it 100% into the same sort of flight characteristics. They do their best they can, but it just doesn't feel right. And it took me a long time, I would say like an hour, maybe half hour at the least. I know that's kind of a lot of time, but I played this demo so many times trying to get a hang of the chopper flying because it's difficult. Looking around, it's difficult, you know. With a regular aircraft, you have got your stick that'll control, you know, pitch and roll. You can descend. With the helicopter, you know, and you've got your thrust, and that's pretty much your jets. You just poof, you go. And with your helicopter, it's different. You've got the collective and the cyclic, and you've got torque, and to go forward, basically, you have to pitch the chopper forward, you know, and it has these different flight characteristics, and it's really hard to fly a helicopter. Anybody who can fly a helicopter, they're a good pilot. That's what I think. You know, people are just like, oh yeah, jet pilots are those are the best guys out there. Anybody who can fly a helicopter, that's pretty impressive because they're not easy to fly. And I think that's why they said the Harrier is one of the most difficult aircraft, fixed-wing aircraft to fly, because it's got helicopter-like flight controls, plus it's also like an regular fixed-wing aircraft. So, anyways, this right here is really cool. This part of the mission, you know, you're supporting ground troops. You're doing exactly what the AH-64 is designed to do: support ground troops. And that's what that's its role. It was kind of used as a standoff killer for a while. After a while, it got that longbow attachment to the AH-64, and it could differentiate targets and all this cool stuff. And boy, you can tell I was just watching this like video about the Apaches, huh? But it can do all these cool things, but its original role is a cavalry. It is supposed to be there to aid the ground troops, and that's what we're doing in this one, and it's really cool. It's kind of hard because I really wish that this game would have destructible environments, because if this game had destructible environments and I could blow up buildings, like I've been shooting at buildings that have been absorbing all my 40mm ammo, or rockets or missiles, that would change characteristics of this game. It really would. It would be pretty cool. But I decided to climb up here, give you guys sort of a bird's eye view of the landscape. This game is beautiful. It's really beautiful, and it's a lot to take in. It really is. And like all the controls for the helicopter, it's pretty insane being able to fly the way a helicopter can fly. And I figured what you can do is that if you've seen that oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of the movie. Nicolas Cage was in a movie about he's an Apache pilot, and he has like this eyepiece. But the gun itself, like the Cobra, follows the gunner's head. So wherever he looks, the gun goes. So you can actually track with your gun a target and fly and do all this really cool stuff. So anyways, guys, that is my Ace Combat demo. I'm so looking forward to this game. I don't know about you guys. I apparently have nobody that I know is a big Ace Combat fan, so hopefully there's one or two out there. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll talk to you later.